All right, that was the national anthem, and we are live here at Tiffin Columbian High School, the site of tonight's sectional championship matchup between the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes and the Clyde Flyers. Nate Mullins sitting courtside here with Tommy Hall. We've got Greg Kinn manning the cameras for our WTTF Sports live stream. And once again, you're listening to the pregame show. We've got just a little bit of time here to break this one down. We still do have one more timeout to take, but Tommy, I want to talk about this game before we step aside again. Let's talk about this one. We've got two familiar rivals here as the Clyde Flyers and the Columbian Tornadoes do battle once again here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. We covered this exact same matchup earlier this year.
Oh, yeah. These two opponents here tonight, very familiar with each other. Again, a budding rivalry developed in the SBC Lake Division. But here tonight in this sectional final live from Tiffin Columbian, a district berth awaits the winner, and who will play Sandusky or Perkins, the winner of that game, as we'll see on our nice little tournament bracket that we got in front of us. But at Millbury Lake in the district next week, Columbian 18-4 coming into the night, number 4 seed, and again, what a tremendous run they've had. Won both of their last regular season games against Tiffin or against Clyde. So is third time a charm, Nate? That's the question that remains to be answered here tonight. And if our coverage has been any indication of how we thought you would have a little bit of home cooking with the playing host of the sectional final, that has not been the case, Nate.
And Tommy, you know, we've been at these matchups before where a team took both of the regular season games. They took both regular season wins, and they weren't able to take care of them the third time because, as we said last year with Tiffin Calvert and Old Fort, with Calvert falling twice to Old Fort in the regular season, we said before that game last year in the playoffs, it's really hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season. So once again, we have this matchup here. The Flyers lost to the Tornadoes twice in the regular season. Let's see if the Tornadoes can come away with another win here today.
The Flyers definitely looking to play spoiler on the road, but again, you look at those 2 regular season meetings between these two teams, 63-44, Tiffin Columbian in their first matchup, and then 81-74 over on Clyde's floor. So, like I said, Clyde Flyers, they're looking for some revenge here tonight. And Travis Kinn and his squad, they can't play any different than what they have been. You just got to keep calm. You're back at 0-0 in the record, but this time, those losses, they end your season. There is no tomorrow, so you just got to play with your hair on fire and play your brand of basketball.
That's absolutely right. And, you know, both of these teams have developed their brand of basketball over the course of this season, and that's gotten them to this point. And here we are playing for a sectional final here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. We got one more timeout to take. We're going to go ahead and take it now. We'll step aside. We'll be right back. You're listening to High School Basketball Tournament Edition right here on WTTF.
For the Flyers, the junior number 10, Brady Wilson. For the Tornadoes, the junior number 23, Cyrus Burden. For the Flyers, a senior number 23, Caden Berger. For the Tornadoes, a sophomore number 31, Logan Beeston. And for the Flyers, a junior number 33, Brent McMaster. And for your Columbian Tornadoes, a junior number 34, Jaden Myers.
from number 10, Brady Wilson, and Columbian takes possession. Logan Beeston drives to the basket, lays it off the glass, and lays it in. And Columbian takes a 2-0 lead, 7:32 left to play here in the first quarter. Clyde driving to the basket. They kick it out to the perimeter, driving. Berger, cut off. His shot no good, but the rebound grabbed by Grant McMaster, and the 6'6" junior puts it back up and in. 7:14 left to play here in the first. Tied at 2 between these two schools. LJ Reeves takes the feed under the basket from Bryce Burns, and Reeves lays it up and in. The senior, the lone senior on this squad for the Tornadoes, lays it off the glass and lays it in for his first basket of the game. Tornadoes take a 4-2 lead. Flyer basketball.
Yeah,
Caden Berger.
The Flyers come in tonight 10-9, being able to dispatch Toledo Woodward 85-63 in a semifinal game played Tuesday night. And you got to believe the Flyers feeling pretty good after that big win, controlling the ball at the top of the key. Driving to the basket is Jaden Cook, and they're going to get the foul on his way to the basket.
Yeah, he's going to get a charge called on him. That
was a charge.
Wasn't expecting to see that, but Cook called for the foul. That's his first. And the first team foul against Clyde turns it over to Tiffin Columbian. 6:30 left to play here in the first. 4-2 lead for the Tornadoes. Jaden Myers kicks it to Reeves. Reeves double team, kicks it back out, Logan Beeston. Beeston drives into the paint, nearly turned it over. Myers with the recover and grabs it and lays it up and in. Jaden Myers with his first basket for the Tornadoes. Tiffin Columbian takes a 6-2 lead. 6 minutes left to play here in the first.
Yeah, Clyde dialing up the pressure early on here, but again, Clyde playing their best brand of basketball, as we talked about, playing in stride, winning 6 of their last 7 games, Nate.
Yeah, they really finished with a lot of momentum in the regular season. Caden Berger driving to the basket, stolen by Reeves, but he stepped on the baseline after the steal, and that's going to turn it back over to the Flyers.
Yeah, this one has the makings of a good one, as Clyde very, very potent in their ability to drive to the lane, but also their perimeter shooting. That's something that you can't ignore and you can't be afraid to match. As Reeves gets stolen away.
Columbian on the other end. Reeves turns it over. Flyer basketball. They drive to the lane, put up the shot, and it's good. That's Brady Wilson. The junior drives and puts it up and brings the Flyers to within 2. Logan Beeston. Oh, what a beautiful hanging floater there from Logan Beeston along the baseline.
Look at, there's that perimeter shooting.
Shane Holman.
Holman not able to find the bottom of the basket, though, as it goes out to Burns. Burns driving under the basket. Out to Burden.
Burden no good on the 3. And a rebound grabbed under the basket by Holman. Shane Holman, I believe, is going to get called on the foul. No, that's on Caden Berger. That'll be his first. And the second team foul on the Flyers. Logan Beeston looking to inbound, gets it into Cyrus Burden. Burden out to Reeves.
Ooh.
Reeves drives into the paint, cut off, and stolen away by the Flyers.
That's second time Reeves is
And Holman drives to the basket, lays it up, it's no good, and he draws the foul on the way to the basket.
Yeah, you got to give a little bit of support to Reeves down in the lane, as that's the 3rd time, I believe, he's driven to the basket and has turned it over.
And all 3 times it's either been a triple team, or on that instance there was 4 Flyers there in the paint to meet him as he drove to the basket. So they're going to have to figure out a way to open up some lanes for him in the paint. Stretch the floor a little bit.
Holman good on his first attempt from the free throw late.
Shane Holman averaging 9.8 points per game. Goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line, unable to convert the second. And the Flyers trail by 3. 8-5, Tiffin Columbian. 4:30 left to play. Cyrus Burden takes the handoff from Logan Beeston. And over to Bryce Burns. Now Burden spots up for 3 from the open corner. And Cyrus Burden knocks it down. Puts the Tornadoes up by 6, 11-5.
Burden now saying, "You gonna respect me on the wing."
Stolen away, Tornado basketball. Down the floor, they push it. Beeston pulls up. Oh, and he knocks it down. Pure Logan Beeston. No hesitation in his game. And the defense sagged. They thought he was going to go to the basket, and he just kind of said, okay, you don't give me that much space, I'll just pull up right here and knock it down. 13-5 lead for the Tornadoes. 4:07 left to play here in the first. And a timeout on the floor by Clyde. And Tommy, did you see that play by Logan Beeston? I mean, that was an outstanding play. Brought to you by the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio. See 20/20 today with a customized eye care plan at the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio, located in Fostoria and Fremont. 4:07 left to play here in the first. Tornadoes take an 8-point lead. Clyde takes a timeout. And they will have the basketball coming out of the timeout.
Once again, we want to thank you for joining us here on this broadcast of this Division II sectional final. Also follow us on Facebook for live updates.
Caden Berger brings the ball into the forecourt. Flyers get it down low. They work it to the basket and lay it up. Abe Morrison puts it up off the glass and puts it in, the sophomore, averaging about 6.3 points per game. Now they spot up from three once again. Burden left open, no good on the three, and a rebound grabbed by the Flyers.
Notice the Flyers left the perimeter a little uncontested, awaiting for the rebound, forcing Columbian to shoot their shot from the outside.
Berger's three no good. Beeston grabs the rebound for the Tornadoes. Over to Burns, spots up for three, off the back of the rim, no. Flyers grab the rebound.
That's not a bad strategy, Nate.
Absolutely not. Beeston with the block.
Oh, finger wave by
and
Beeston.
The Mutombo finger wag.
They're not going to call that. But man, what a raucous crowd we have here, live from Tiffin Columbian High School. Great job by Athletic Director Dan Hartzell, complying, making this a safe environment as it can be. But man, we wish you could be here with us as this first stanza of action, it's starting to heat up.
Absolutely. 13-7 lead for the Tornadoes. Flyer basketball, they drive to the basket. And Abe Morrison with another basket. He's got 4 off the bench for the Flyers. 13-9.
I like that little nudge Morrison did with the step back.
Burden kicks it out. Reeves in the corner for three. Nope, in and out. Oh, Weingart grabs the rebound, puts it back up. No, tipped around. Flyers grab the rebound. Morrison, spin move into the paint, stripped, turns it over. It goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Flyers. Morrison made a good move to the basket, but the triple team was there waiting for him. And he turns it over. 2:23 left to play in the first. 13-9, Tiffin Columbian. Logan Beeston on the left side, gives it off Bryce Burns. Now over to Cyrus Burden. From the logo, picks up his dribble, gives it off to Burns. Burns off the screen, drives to the free throw line, kicks it out to Burden on the left wing. Cyrus Burden, Reeves, back to Burden. Tornadoes trying to find an open shot. Bryce Burns driving. He's cut off by the defense. Out to Weingart. Now Beeston in the corner. Driving. Pulls up. Wow. And in and out. Reeves grabs the rebound. Tries to go back up with it. Dan does. Goes back up. Puts it up off the glass and in. L.J. Reeves with his second basket.
The Flyers got to close the gap there, Nate. Can't allow 3 rebounds on an offensive possession by the Tornadoes, especially if you're trying to cut away at this deficit. As Jaden Cook had the
pulls up. He got the green light from about 25 feet out. Weingart takes the pass from Beeston, feeds Reeves on the right side. Right corner three, no. And Burns grabs the rebound.
And Cook, he's not the guy you want to give that green light to. First team SBC, late conference.
Beeston pulls up three. Bang!
Speaking of first
Don't
team.
leave him that wide open.
Beeston from the parking lot for 3.
Logan Beeston, and that pass off of the hands of Abe Morrison and out of bounds. Clyde turns it over. Tornado basketball, 55.9 seconds left, 18-9, Tiffin Columbian leading.
In the Flyer offense, that's what's really been hindering cutting away at this deficit. As the defense has been there, they've been having looks, been able to push the ball down the floor in transition, just seemingly a little on the basket here in the first quarter for the Flyers.
Braden Rogo into the game now for Tiffin Columbian. Logan Beeston on the right wing, driving into the paint, step back from the free throw line and knocks it down. Oh, he is feeling it. 11 points for the sophomore. And Beeston gives Columbian a double-digit lead, 20-9. 20 seconds left. Caden Berger now over the left wing for Abe Morrison. 15 seconds left. Morrison picks up his dribble, feeds it over. Andrew Cauble, who's shooting about 50% from three on the season, now feeds Berger from three on the left side. No. And rebound grab by Beeston. 1 second left. Beeston, full court shot, no good. And that is the end of the first quarter with Tiffin Columbian holding an 11-point lead, 20-9 over the Flyers. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to high school basketball on WTTF.
Like and share our page at WTTF Sports. Get all the up-to-date action as we follow our local teams all the way through the tournament. Man, we got a hefty lineup for you over the next coming weeks as we try to keep these seasons alive. And thus far through one, Tiffin Columbian doing a nice job of that, winning the first quarter here, 20-9, and having that 11-point advantage.
If everything plays out the way I think it should, we could have 4 games next week, Tommy.
And that kicks off tomorrow night as well, as we are over in Willard for the Division III sectional final matchup between the Seneca East girls. We'll be joining the Lady Tigers over there.
We'll be taking on Buckeye Central. That's going to be a huge matchup, N10 rivalry. And we're back here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. Nate Mullen sitting courtside here with Tommy Hall. We start the second quarter. Tiffin Columbian will have possession, leading by a score of 20-9 over the Clyde Flyers. Braden Rogo crosses the timeline into the forecourt for the Tornadoes. Sets the offense. Now over to Weingart. Now Bryce Burns. Alley-oop. They try to find Reeves under the basket, and Reeves missed it. And a rebound grab by the Flyers. Down the floor. They push it. Brady Wilson feeds it over to Jaden Cook. Cook thought about a right wing three. Puts the ball on the floor. Now Morrison. They kick it around the perimeter. Feed it over to Berger. Now Burns on defense. Now they feed it under the basket. Nice cut by Brady Wilson. And the junior lays it up off the glass and lays it in. Drive to the basket by Burns is no good. And a rebound tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Tornadoes. 7:10 left to play here in the second quarter. The Tornadoes leading by 9. The Flyers have the basketball to start this possession. They work it over the timeline into the forecourt. Abe Morrison on the left side. Cut off. Now kicks it into the paint. Oh, nice shot by Brady Wilson, and one. As he draws the foul, he'll go to the line looking to convert on a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Clyde now continuously cutting away at this deficit. Able to convert here, puts him back within 6, 2-possession game.
Wilson averaging about 9 points a game on the season. He's got 7 already here in the first half. 20-14, Tiffin Columbian leading by 6. Clyde starts out the second quarter on a 5-0 run. Beeston over to Rogo, thought about a three, now puts it on the floor. That cross-court pass is poked away by Wilson and out of bounds. Columbian basketball. 6:37 left to play in the first half. Braden Rogo Feeds it to Weingart. Weingart driving to the basket. Spin move up off the glass. No. Gets his own rebound. Goes up with it off the glass. No. Rebound tipped out and grabbed by the Tornadoes. Bryce Burns. Burns is fouled from behind, but they don't call it. And Flyers grab the basketball. Looked like he got hit in the mouth from behind. Caden Berger now with it. Feeds under the basket for Wilson, and we're going to get a charge on Wilson as he drives to the basket, and Jaden Myers doing what he does best, planting those feet and drawing a charge. I wonder how many he's got on the season, Tommy. I mean, it's got to be at least one per game. I know they don't keep track of that stat, but that's a stat I like to keep track of.
So I hear the BIB.
Rogo brings it over the timeline. 6 minutes left here in the first quarter. Columbian leading 20-14. Bryce Burns under the basket for Beeston, and he lays it off the glass with a feathery touch and lays it in. Beeston with 13 now. They kick it out on the right wing. Cook for three and knocks it down. Jaden Cook was wide open on that one.
We had said
down the three.
In that first quarter of action, Cook was not the guy who wanted to leave open out there on the perimeter.
Beeston, triple team, now kicks it over to Myers for three. Airballed that one. Rebound grabbed by Berger. Down the floor, they push it. Into the paint, up with the shot, off the glass and in for Cauble. Andrew Cauble, the junior, lays it up, and the Flyers are within three. Timeout, Tiffin Columbian will keep it right here with 5:19 left to play. Tommy, did you see that play by Andrew Cauble? Nice baseline drive there, laid it up off the glass, laid it in. Great play by Cauble. And that play brought to you by the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio. See 20/20 today with a customized eye care plan at the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio, located in Fostoria and Fremont. 5:19 left to play here in the first half. Columbian leading 22-19. And Clyde has trimmed this deficit here in the second quarter as they're on a 10-2 run to start the second quarter.
That's exactly what we said as they close out that first quarter. The offense for the Flyers really needed to get established, get their sets going, because the defense, I truly believe, had been there.
Cyrus Burden now with it for the Tornadoes. Feeds it over to the left wing for Rogo. Now back to Burden. Now Rogo thought about a three, drives the baseline, kicks it, and it's stolen away by the Flyers. Flyer basketball. Cook on the right wing, feeds it over. They work it around the perimeter. Andrew Cauble pulls it back, works it over to Caden Berger. Berger on the right wing. Pulls it back, 4:44 left to play. 22-19, Tiffin Columbian leading by three. Flyer basketball. Cauble hoists it from three, no good. A rebound grabbed by Beeston. Logan Beeston pushes it down the floor. Draws the double team. Beeston on the right wing. Now feeds it over the cross court for Rogo. They feed Myers, back out to Reeves. Reeves over to Rogo.
Oh, Rogo.
Back over to Beeston. Now hoists it from three. Off the rim, no. And it plays Plinko with the stanchion and goes out of bounds. Tiffin Columbian still leading 22-19, but Clyde with the possession. A chance to either trim this to one or possibly tie here on this possession. Andrew Cauble brings the ball into the forecourt for the Flyers. Caden Berger now with it. Puts the move on Burden, drives to the basket and lays it up and in. Nice move there by Berger. And the Flyers to within one. 22-21, Columbian. And Logan Beeston nearly turned it over there as Jaden Cook stuck his foot out. Called for the kickball. Columbian basketball. 3:46 left to play in the first half. Tornadoes have really slowed down the pace offensively here in the second quarter. I think a lot of that has to do with the Clyde pressure defensively. Playing that 2-3 zone and really playing it well. Beeston's shot for the baseline, no good. Jaden Myers grabs the rebound.
Yeah, early on you watch Clyde kind of go into a man press. Beeston.
Beeston feeds Burns on the left side. Now Burns cross court for Myers over to Reeves in the right corner. 3:06 left to play here in the first half.
2-3 and sending a man from the top.
Reeves wide open, right corner three, no. Rebound grabbed by the Flyers.
Forcing the outside shots that haven't been there for Columbian.
Cook drives to the basket, no good. Rebound grabbed by the Tornadoes.
That would have.
Burns blocked from behind. Berger with the block. Ball on the floor. And we're going to say held ball. Possession arrow favoring the Flyers.
And now Berger giving them a tumble finger. Turnabout is fair play.
22-21, Tiffin Columbian leading by 1.
Especially when you're talking about storied rivals.
2:33 left to play, left corner three, Cook, no good. Morrison grabs the rebound under the basket. It's stripped away. Columbian grabs the basketball. Beeston with the ball, pushing it over the timeline. To the basket with the shot, no good. Draws the foul.
I thought they were, yeah.
They were clawing him the whole way to the basket. I think he's still got claw marks on his arms from that one. 2:17 left to play in the first half. Beeston at the line. He's going to get 2 shots here. No good on the first. Logan Beeston, who has 13 points here today, unable to convert from the free throw line. Beeston on the season shooting about 70% from the free throw stripe. Second free throw, no good. Reeves grabs the rebound for the Tornadoes. Had it poked away, Flyers grab it. Jaron Bulger into the game for Flyers, and he grabs the ball.
And this is a huge possession for the Flyers as Cook just going to pull up.
No good on the shot from the free throw line. Reeves grabs the rebound. Burns driving, baseline, blocked from behind. Morrison wisely throws it off a Tornado and saves it for the Flyers.
Look at this defense by the Flyers. Now, can you hold that up?
I was going to say,
that's the biggest question.
This is intense. It's a very intense effort here in the second quarter.
You can play with fire, and as a good friend of mine, Coach Judd Lutz always says, you know, fire can heat a building, but it can also burn it down.
That's right. Brady Wilson works it over to Bulger. Jaron Bulger now out on the left wing. That's Berger. They work it around. 1:28 left to play here in the first half. Columbian leading by 1, 22-21. Bulger hoists it from 3, off the front of the rim, no. A rebound grab by Jaden Myers. He works it back to Burden. They got to work it over the timeline. They're already well into the clock here. And Burden just able to make it over the timeline. I don't think he was keeping track because I think that referee was just about ready to call the foul.
I'll poke away.
Flyer basketball. Minute to play. Berger into the paint. Up with the shot. Puts it up and in. And the Flyers take the lead. Clyde on a 14-2 run here in the second quarter. Logan Beeston's 3, no good. Rebound grabbed by Cook. Cook pushes it, other end of the floor. Berger hoists it from 3, no. Rebound tipped under the basket, grabbed by Bulger. Now Burns grabs the rebound. Burns pulls up from the elbow, knocks, no.
Just a lid on the basket.
Reeves puts it up, and with a little English gets it to go. And the Tornadoes take the lead back, 24-23. And drive to the basket, and that's going to be a charge on Shane Holman as he just kind of lost control there. And Burns looking to inbound for Tiffin Columbian with 19.7 seconds left. 24-23, Tornado lead. They'll hold for the last possession. Burden over to Beeston, 9 seconds left. Now Burns, 6 seconds. Reeves feed under the basket. Now Burden gets it back. No good on the putback. Flyer basketball. No time And that full court shot is no good, or half court shot, should say. And that is the end of the first half. Tiffin Columbian holds a 24-23 lead. But I'll tell you what, Tommy, they've led by as many as 11, and the Flyers are playing with fire right here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. We're going to step aside, take a timeout. We'll be back for the halftime show live from Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. You're listening to High School Basketball Tournament Edition right here on WTTF.
On WTTF Sports of high school basketball, Division II sectional final between the Clyde Flyers and Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes. Nate Mullins, Tommy Hall, Greg Kinn, manning the camera, bringing you all the action. And man, what a tremendous first 16 minutes of action that was, Nate.
You can't, I mean, back and forth, teams trading blows in the first quarter and the second quarter. The momentum swinging back and forth. Just an outstanding first half of basketball. And you can't ask for anything less. I mean, both these teams, familiar rivals. And like we said before this game, Tommy, it is very hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season. But Tiffin Columbian's working on it right now with a 1-point lead over the Flyers. Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. Nate Mullins listening to the halftime show. We've got Greg Kinn manning the camera for our live stream on WTTF Sports Facebook. Once again, we are here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium for tonight's sectional final matchup between the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes and the Clyde Flyers, with the Tornadoes leading by a score of 24-23 over the Flyers. Logan Beeston, the high point man so far, with 13 points in the first half. And for the Flyers, Brady Wilson with 7 off the bench. You're listening to the halftime show. 7:40 left to play, or left until the start of the third quarter. We'll take this time to thank our sponsors for bringing you high school basketball here in the OHSAA Tournament Edition. Thanks to Century 21 Bolte Real Estate, Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio, Financial Design Insurance Agency, First Bank of Tiffin, Integrated Orthopedics, Kibler's Shoes, Northwest Ohio Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Reineke Tiffin Ford, St. Francis Senior Ministries, Tiffin Deluxe Services, Tiffin University, and Your Legacy Federal Credit Union. About 7 minutes left here in the halftime period. Tiffin Columbian holding on to a 24-23 lead here in the first half. We'll step aside, take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll break down that first half and get you set for the start of the third quarter here at Tiffin Columbian High School. Nate Mullins, Tommy Hall sitting courtside here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to High School Basketball on WTTF. 93 over the Clyde Flyers here in this sectional final matchup here at Tiffin Columbian High School. Thanks for joining us here on AM 1600 and FM 93.3, and those of you streaming online at WTTF.com and on our mobile app. Tommy, that first half was just about as back and forth as you can get in those first two quarters. Tiffin Columbian jumped out to a 20-9 lead after the first quarter. Clyde was all over Columbian there in the second quarter, defensively especially, and outscoring Tiffin Columbian by a score of 14-4 to close it to a 1-point deficit there as we enter halftime. So big second quarter for the Flyers to close this one to a close gap here, and they even took a lead at one point. But I'll tell you what, Tommy, that defensive effort has been very impressive by both squads actually, but Clyde really there in the second quarter, that was something to watch.
Yeah, again, that 14-2 run, Clyde Flyers, they definitely aren't going to go away quietly into that night, as they came in here prepared against a known opponent that they're familiar with. Tiffin Columbian, we talked about earlier, already being able to dispatch the Flyers twice in the regular season. But here tonight, I mean, we talk about that looming third try, that how hard it is to put away a team for the third time. And if only it wasn't just the third matchup between these two teams, because, again, you look at the way this one plays out, one of these teams are going home after tonight. There is no tomorrow.
That's
and
right.
These are two quality squads that are going to make that next step towards cutting the net here tonight and get ready for districts. But Tiffin Columbian, I mean, you gotta play another 16 minutes. You have to be able to close out. You talked about having the win, but, I mean, you were holding on to that win by the skin of your teeth after allowing a 14-2 run, only scoring 4 points in that second quarter. And, you know, if only, that's the famous last words of those who weren't.
That's absolutely right, Tommy. I couldn't have put it better myself. 2:35 left here in the halftime period, and Tiffin Columbian holding a 24-23 lead over these Clyde Flyers. We're going to step aside, take a timeout. We'll be back with the start of the third quarter here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. You're listening to High School Basketball Tournament Edition right here on WTTF, AM 1600 and FM 93.3. Columbian Tornadoes and the Clyde Flyers. Nate Mullen sitting here courtside with Tommy Hall. We got Greg Kinn manning the cameras for our WTTF Sports Facebook live stream. And we are just about set for the start of the third quarter as Tiffin Columbian holding on And I mean holding on to a 24-23 lead as we start the second half. They will have the opening possession of the third quarter. On the inbound anyway. And Clyde is playing some smothering defense there in the second quarter to trim it to a 1-point lead. Columbian drives to the basket, lays it up and lays it in for L.J. Reeves. And stretches the Tornado lead out to 3, 26-23. Reeves with 8 points here today. Jaden Cook with it for the Flyers. Pulls it back to the logo. Now feeds it over to Caden Berger. There's an honorable mention, all SBC. Feed for Jaden Cook, who drives to the basket and lays it up and in. And Cook now with 5 points here today. Beeston drives. That pass nearly, it is stolen away by the Flyers. Cook feeding Holman under the basket, and he lays it up and in. Actually, that's Brady Wilson. Wilson with a nice finish at the basket, and the Flyers take a 1-point lead, 27-26.
I believe that's their second lead of the game.
Myers at the elbow, feeding Beeston. Left side, pulls it up and knocks it down from the perimeter. Logan Beeston from distance. And that's a 5-second violation called against the Flyers as Caden Berger was trying to find somebody to pass it to, and nobody was there. Full court press by the Tornadoes forced the turnover. 29-27, Columbian leading.
It's almost
6:43
like
left to play
having
in the
an
third.
it's almost like having an itchy trigger finger if you're Coach Travis Kinn and the Columbian squad, because you know that when you want to go into that full three-pointer, falls short back into the hand of Clyde. As
Cook drives to the basket, lays it up. No, McMaster's putback is no good. And Beeston grabs the rebound for the Tornadoes. Cross court to Burns. Burns driving into the lane, kicks it out for Reeves. Reeves drives the baseline, kicks it over to the left corner for Beeston. Now Beeston feeds Burden, back to Beeston. Now over to Burden. Cyrus Burden drives. Wow, loses it. Reeves gets it back for the Tornadoes, and they turn it over. Berger with the turnover, and Clyde with the basketball. And they force it left side for Wilson. Three-point shot, no. Rebound grabbed by McMaster, and the Flyers get it back. 5:45 left to play here in the third. 29-27, Tiffin Columbian lead.
Yeah, and this McMaster, he can give you some boards off the benches. He comes in 6'6".
The junior giving you plenty of length down low. Presenting a mismatch between him and Jaden Myers. And that drive to the basket, Cook tried to find a wide open shot on the perimeter, and they feed McMaster, and he lays it off the glass and puts it up and in for the Flyers, and they tie it up at 29. 5:15 left to play in the third. Beeston feeds Myers on the elbow, now over to Burden. Left wing three, no. Rebound grabbed by Burns. Burns puts it up off the glass and puts it in. Bryce Burns on the offensive rebound and puts it back for the Tornadoes. Wilson feeds Cook. Now Jaden Cook into the forecourt. Over the left wing for Holman. Holman cut off by Beeston. A timeout called by Clyde with 4:37 left to play in the third.
Well, you saw Clyde go to implement and go to that full court press earlier on in the game and unleash that up-tempo defense. Coach Travis Kinn, we talked about that itchy trigger finger. Now you're starting to see it on display here in the mid-quarter of the third period as that's what he calls from that Buhai tree of coaching, that controlled chaos.
Yep. Well, we've talked about that quite a bit. He brings that over from Coach Andy Buhai of the Heidelberg Student Princes from his time there, spent as a student and an assistant coach.
And again, that's that frenetic pace. It's, trying to dial up the pressure, create turnovers, and then when you got those choice shot selections from the perimeter, that's kind of how you start burying teams and make Clyde work once again to try to overcome a major deficit that took them an entire quarter to do it before we went to the half.
Flyers coming out of the timeout, trailing by 2, 4:30 left to play in the third. Jaden Cook on the right wing, working on Bryce Burns. Comes off the screen. Cook drives to the basket, puts it up, no. Rebound, grabs his own board, puts it back up, it's no good. We got a foul under the basket. I believe it's going to be a shooting foul, maybe. No, non-shooting foul to be on the floor. And the first team foul against Tiffin Columbian comes at the 4:20 mark of the third quarter. 31-29, Columbian leading. Flyer basketball. Holman looking to inbound for the Flyers, gets it in, gets it to Andrew Cauble. Cauble feeds it back to Holman. Now over the left wing, that's Wilson for three, and Brady Wilson knocks down the three, puts the Flyers up by 1, 32-31.
Wilson good from three-point land earlier as well, accounting for 6 of his 12 points.
Myers with the feed from Burns under the basket, and a nice backdoor cut there from Myers as he finishes at the rim. Left wing three, no good. Rebound tipped under the basket, last touch by the Tornadoes. Actually, no, they're going to say Flyers were the last to touch it. I don't know about that one, Tommy. I've sat in this gym many a times, but I'll be as honest as I can. That was probably off a Tornado, but they get it back with a 1-point lead, 33-32. Left
Burns.
wing, wide open three for Burns. No good. Beeston grabs the rebound for the Tornadoes.
And back into the hands
turns
of the Flyers.
it over. And the Flyers get it back. Driving, cut off. Ooh. Nice save there by Abe Morrison. And what a drive to the basket by Brady Wilson. Wilson lays it off the glass and in, gives the Flyers a 1-point lead, and a timeout called by Tiffin Columbian. Travis Kinn is very animated over there as he is not liking what he's seeing. But Tommy, did you see that last play there by the Flyers?
Oh, absolutely, Nate. That play that got the Flyers ahead 34-33, brought to you by the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio. See 20/20 today with a customized eye care plan at the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio, located in Fostoria and Fremont.
3:18 left to play in the third. Flyers take a 1-point lead over Tiffin Columbian, 34-33. Tornadoes have the basketball coming out of the timeout. Travis Kinn was very, very animated during that timeout, making sure his players understand where he's at.
Travis Kinn puts that theory to the test of actions speak louder than coaches. I don't necessarily agree with that when you...
Burden drives to the paint, puts it off the glass, and Cyrus Burden puts it in for the Tornadoes. They push it down the floor. Left wing three is good for Andrew Cauble. He was left wide open, and he knocked it down. Burns out to Reeves on the right wing. Trailing by 2. Burden, left wing three. Bang! Burden answers back and puts the Tornadoes back on top. 38-37. Burns is going to get called for the reach-in as he reached across to poke the ball away. And Bryce Burns, that'll be his first foul.
Yeah,
the second team foul.
And that whistle to stop the action. I mean, business was starting to pick up. Both teams trading shots from behind the arc.
Andrew Cauble brings the ball into the forecourt for the Flyers on the right wing. Cauble, the junior, feeds it to Berger. Caden Berger on the right wing, gets it down low. Abe Morrison working on Myers. Morrison turns it over. LJ Reeves with it, feeds Burns under the basket, lays it up, no! Rebound tipped and grabbed by the Flyers. How is Cook not called for the foul on that one? And he nearly turns it over, and he does. Burns, at Burden, grabs the rebound. Cyrus Burden pushes it down the floor. Burden had it poked away from behind. It goes off of a Flyer and out of bounds. 2:06 left to play here in the third quarter. Columbian holding on to a 1-point lead, 38-37. Beeston looking to inbound for the Tornadoes. Gets it into Reeves on the left wing. Now Burden thought about a three, puts the ball on the floor.
Nice move inside by Burden. Kind of sets up a screen there for Reeves now. Back out to Burns.
Now Burns on the right wing. Gives it off to Burden. Burden calls for the screen, now rolls away from it. Cyrus Burden Gives it off to L.J. Reeves. Reeves drives to the basket, puts it up, no good. Grabs his own board, goes back up with it. No, it's stripped, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Flyers. 1:38 left to play in the third. 38-37, Tiffin Columbian leading by 1. Logan Beeston looking to inbound. Beeston looking to get it in, gets it over to Burns on the right wing. Now back to Beeston, feeds him wide open for 3. No, Burns grabs the rebound for the Tornadoes.
Spin move inside.
Spin into the paint, and it's stripped off of him and out of bounds. It goes back to the Flyers with 1:30 left to play in the third.
That's just tremendous defense by the Flyers. 1:30 remaining here in the third quarter, 38-37. And the Tornadoes playing this one close to the vest, Nate.
Absolutely. Jaden Cook with it, brings it into the forecourt. It's stolen away by Burden. Cyrus Burden had it poked away from behind. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Flyers. Burden pleading his case over there like, hey, that was pretty physical.
Well, we've seen
but you're not going to get that call in the sectional final.
We've seen Cook a couple times here dial up that aggression. In Judge Cook's court, there are no objections, just rejections.
Burns over to Burden, right wing 3, spots up and drains it. Cyrus Burden knocks down the 3 and puts the Tornadoes up by 4. Burden now has 11. Jaden Cook with it for the Flyers. Cook driving to the basket, no good. Lays it up, it's stripped, but he touches it before it goes out of bounds. So the Tornadoes will get it back. 53.5 seconds left. Jacob Weingart inbound, and they kind of passed it around to each other.
And you love seeing Jacob Weingart play in the paint.
Yes.
Likes playing low, being pesky.
Just one of those players that just gets under your skin, you know?
Yeah.
Burns puts it over to Burden, right wing 3. Oh, in and out. The rim was unkind there. Reeves nearly stole that long court pass there. It was about a 3/4 court pass. And Reeves, who led the SBC in interceptions this year, nearly got himself one there.
Young Rogo comes in for Beeston.
Jaden Cook under the basket looking to inbound for the Flyers. Gets it into Berger on the right wing. 26 seconds left. Tornadoes leading 41-37. Down to 20 seconds left. Caden Berger pulls it back. They're trying to hold this one possibly for the last shot. Berger working on L.J. Reeves. Down to 11 seconds. Over the right wing for Cauble. Cauble drives to the paint. Now kicks it over Wilson. Now Wilson gets it over to Cook. 2 seconds left. 1 second. Jaden Cook with a beautiful move to the basket to put the Flyers within 2 as we close the third quarter. The Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes still holding on to a 41-39 lead at the end of the third quarter. We'll step aside, take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're listening to Tournament Edition of High School Basketball right here on WTTF.
Almost halfway.
And we're back here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. The Tornadoes holding on to a 41-39 lead at the start of the fourth quarter. Flyers will have the opening possession of the closing quarter here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. This one's for the sectional championship. And to move on to the districts.
Defend to the end if you're the Tornadoes here in this.
Poked away, stolen by the Tornadoes, but the Flyers get it back. They feed it in the right corner for Berger. Now Jaden Cook with it. Drives to the basket, off the front of the rim, no. Rogo tips the rebound, grabs it on the floor. Jump ball, and a possession arrow will favor the Tornadoes. Travis Kinn was halfway on the court. No, he was halfway down the court, yelling for a foul on that occasion.
I said he called a timeout.
7:40 left to play here in the ball game. Bryce Burns picks up his dribble, now passes over to Rogo, now gets it back. Burns. And it nearly poked away, but no, now the Flyers do get the steal. Jaden Cook driving, up with the shot, no, and a foul. Oh, wow, that was a shooting foul? He still was gathering. He didn't even have the ball in his hand before he... I cannot believe that was a shooting foul. That should have been a foul on the floor. Wow. That'll put Jaden Cook at the line for 2 shots. Critical foul there, and Cook unable to get the ball to go in the rim. And you know what they say, Tommy?
Ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie. Jaden Cook gets another one. And didn't get either one of them, so hey, that wasn't a foul, folks. I mean, it was a foul, just not a shooting foul.
That's the way it bounces.
That's stolen away by Cook. Cook feeds Cobble under the basket, lays it up and in, and he draws the foul.
And that one was a foul. A chance now to take a 1-point lead here.
Tied at 41 with 7 minutes and 11 seconds left to play. Andrew Cobble toes the line. And that free throw bounces off the back of the rim twice and no good. We got a lane violation on Clyde. That'll give the Tornadoes the basketball. 7:11 left to play in the ball game. Cyrus Burden checking in, Braden Rogo checking out, just as Jaden Myers checks in for Jacob Weingart. Tied at 41. 7 minutes and 9 seconds left. Burden over to Beeston on the right wing. Draws the double team. Now gives it over to Burden. Now the left wing for Burns. Back to Burden. Tornadoes trying to set up an open shot here. Trying to find an open shot for one of their shooters. Burns. Now over to Burden. Burden driving to the free throw line. Shot is up and good. Now, how are they not going to get the continuation on that, but they got it on the other end of the floor? If you're going to call it one way, you got to call it the other way, right?
You'd think so.
That should have been a continuation and one. But instead, Tornadoes will inbound. 6:43 left to play here in the first, or in the ball game. Fourth, I should say.
I mean, they even call that the shooting foul.
Wow. Reeves to the basket, puts it up off the glass. No, but he's fouled on the shot. And Grant McMaster called on the foul. That'll be his first. And the third team foul against the Flyers puts LJ Reeves at the line for 2 shots. 6:36 left to play in the ball game. Reeves knocks down the first and gives the Tornadoes a 1-point lead. LJ Reeves with 9 points here tonight. And Reeves knocks them both down. And Reeves has got 10 points. The Tornadoes have 3 players in double digits. And there are 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the ball game. Tornadoes holding on to a 2-point lead, 43-41. That pass skips off a Tornado and out of bounds. Burns nearly got the steal there, but it goes out of bounds. And the Flyers get it back. Berger feeds it to McMaster, but it's stolen away by Burns. Bryce Burns over to LJ Reeves. Now drives the baseline. Reeves cut off, feeds it up. No, but he's fouled on his way up with the shot. LJ Reeves will go to the line for 2 more shots.
And these are the type of hard-earned points that you get that end up blacking and bruising you. And
that's what happens when you start working your way to the basket instead of settling for these open jumpers. Reeves unable to get that first one to go. He's got 10 points here. And Tiffin Columbian leading by 2, 43-41. L.J. Reeves. Second free throw. That one's good. He was 3 for 4 from the line here tonight. And Tornadoes take a 3-point lead, 44-41. 6:10 left to play.
We've seen Clyde really try to drive it to the lane. Don't forget, they do have that perimeter shooting ability as well. They can score on you from anywhere on the floor.
Caden Berger rolls to the basket. Oh, what a shot by Berger. A little floater there. And Berger knocks it down. Flyers trail by 1, 44-43. 5:41 left to play. Bryce Burns over to Burden, now back to Burns. Tornadoes working around the perimeter, trying to find a shot. Set up the offense here. Now Burden spots up from 3, no. Rebound grabbed by Caden Berger, throws it down the floor for Cauble. And Andrew Cauble lays it off the glass and lays it in, and the Flyers take a 1-point lead. Reeves, Burns, out to Burden for 3, bang! Cyrus Burden knocks down the 3, and the Tornadoes take a 2-point lead, 47-45. Tommy, did you see that 3-point shot from Burden? What a pass, what a shot, what a play.
Oh, absolutely, as Burden continues to tack on with his 14 points here tonight, counting for 9 from three-point land, and that's brought to you by the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio. See 20/20 today with a customized eye care plan at the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio, located in Fostoria and Fremont.
5:10 left to play in the ball game. Tornadoes take a 2-point lead on that Cyrus Burden 3. 47-45 is your score. Both teams with 4 fouls. Timeout called by Tiffin Columbian as Travis Kinn, I think, wants to talk things over about their defensive game plan here for the rest of this one.
Well, you talk about the double-digit performance that you want out of your bigs with Reeves with 11 points now. Burden, 14 quiet points from outside the arc, and Beeston, of course, with 16. So, I mean, you're getting those contributions, you're getting those performances, but you got to string together some runs to be able to finish off this Clyde Flyer squad and come away with that sectional championship. And if you're Clyde, you got to do more of what you did in that second quarter of action here tonight, where you just dial up that defense, start working your offensive sets, don't get in too much of a hurry, and just try to get out ahead and stay ahead.
That's exactly right. Jaden Cooks brings the ball into the forecourt for the Flyers, gives it off to Caden Berger. Now Brady Wilson on the left wing.
And again, easier said than done.
Andrew Cauble drives to the paint, puts the shot up. It's no good. Boy, that was a late foul.
Yeah. Myers usually stoic.
Travis Kinn making sure he delivers his message to Jaden Myers, as Myers was getting a little loud with the referee. Andrew Cauble at the line knocks down the first. Flyers trailing by 1.
And that's why you love Tiffin Columbian.
Cauble ties it up, knocks them both down from the free throw line. Tiffin Columbian basketball.
Columbian,
4:45 left to play.
This school, they expect your best at all times.
Stolen away, Flyer basketball. Down the floor, Wilson with it. Stripped away, it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Tiffin Columbian. Caden Berger looking at inbound. Gets it in, Abe Morrison. Now Andrew Cauble. Feeds it over Berger on the right wing. Caden Berger drives, spin move. Kicks it out to Jaden Cook. Timeout, Clyde. 4:26 left to play. We are tied at 47.
And what an exciting Division II sectional final we have for you right here from Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium in Tiffin, Ohio. As, again, none of this tournament basketball action would be possible without our friends that help bring you high school basketball each and every week right here on WTTF. Century 21, Bolte Real Estate, the Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio, Financial Design Insurance Agency, First Bank of Tiffin, Integrated Orthopedics, Keebler Shoes, Northwest Ohio Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Reineke Tiffin Ford, St. Francis Senior Ministries, Tiffin Deluxe Services, Tiffin University, and your Legacy Federal Credit Union. All proud sponsors that are bringing you tournament basketball right here on WTTF.
And folks, we say it often, but when you hear those names, please frequent those businesses and tell them WTTF sent you. 4:26 left to play here in the ball game, tied at 47. Clyde takes a timeout. And they'll have the basketball coming out of the timeout. We will be live tomorrow night from Willard High School for the Division IV Girls District Championship game at Willard High School between Seneca East and Buckeye Central, two N10 opponents, rivals, do battle in the district championship. That's once again at Willard High School, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock tip-off right here on WTTF. It's tomorrow night. Flyer basketball, Jaden Cook driving to the basket, puts it up. No, it goes off the back of the rim. Burns drives, kicks it over to Beeston. Thought about a three. Beeston drives, now kicks it over to Reeves. Reeves under the basket. Got himself a bird and lays it up and in. Berger drives, kicks it. No, it's no good. What a tip there by Burden as he just got a piece of that one under the basket.
Look at Beeston calling the play out top of the key before he passes it off to Burden.
Cyrus Burden over at the logo. Now Burns gives it over to Myers. Myers kicks it out to Beeston. Tornadoes work it around, trying to set up a shot.
Wow.
Now Burns is wide open from three, no good. Myers grabs the rebound, puts it up and in, and draws the foul. Jaden Myers will go to the line, looking to convert on a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
And again, you get a little stern talking to of Jaden Myers, and you learn to get your composure back.
That's right.
And when you're trying to sweep the glass, again, comes down with the rebound.
No good on the free throw, but the Tornadoes grab the rebound.
You gotta like that.
Absolutely. Look at Myers under the basket and finishes at the basket. Myers gives the Tornadoes a 6-point lead. Jaden Cook pulls up from three and trims that to a 3-point deficit. Jaden Cook, with no hesitation, stepped right into that one and knocked it down. He's got 10 points for the Flyers. 53-50, Tiffin Columbian lead. Myers with it, double teamed, nearly turned it over, gets it back, had it poked away. Myers is going to get trapped, and they're going to get a timeout. Travis Kinn wisely calls the timeout. Myers is looking for anybody to throw the ball to, and nobody was giving themselves available. So wisely, Travis Kinn takes a timeout. We'll keep it right here. 2:31 left to play in the ball game. Tornadoes holding on to a 3-point lead.
Yeah, once again, a series of unfortunate events for the Flyers. A couple turnovers allowed Tiffin Columbian to really string together a nice 6-0 run there to stretch that lead. But Jaden Cook, I mean, he's been really one of the unsung heroes for the Flyers here tonight, as his just production defensively now starting to rear its head offensively, as he's really taking charge here in this fourth quarter for the Flyers, having 10 points now and got with that big three-pointer that got the Flyers back within 3 now.
Of course, Cook, the 5th leading scorer in the SBC Lake, at 14.9 points a game, just under his season average at 10 tonight. But there's still 2:31 left to play, and he is heating up here in this final quarter.
I guess he's not so unsung.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about his production this season in the SBC Lake Conference, first team. But again, it takes more than one, as you're looking at a couple first-teamers over there on the Columbian side of things, Logan Beeston, LJ Reeves.
Now Columbian will have the basketball coming out of the timeout, leading by 3. 2:31 left to play. Burden looking to inbound, gets it into Burns.
People always ask you, what's your favorite season? Is it fall, winter, spring, or summer? And I always say, no, it's basketball, because there ain't nothing better than tournament basketball here late in the season.
Down to 2:15 left to play in the ball game. Cyrus Burden drives to the basket. Cut off by the defense, and he's going to be fouled by Caden Berger on his way to the basket.
I tell you what, Berger, him and Burden has been tied up a couple of times here tonight. Berger just all over him, stepping on the sneakers once again. Burden probably going to have to stop down and see our buddies at Keebler Shoes to get those recobbled.
Beeston gets it into Burden. Now over to Burns at the top of the key. 2:08 left to play here in the ball game. Bryce Burns driving, cut off, gives it over to Reeves. LJ Reeves puts the ball on the floor, gives it back to Beeston. We're inside of 2 minutes to play. 1:55 on the fourth quarter clock.
Burns thought about it.
Burns gives it off to Beeston. It's turned over. Clyde with the basketball. Beeston pokes it away, and I believe they're going to get Beeston on the foul. Well, I mean, that's what they did to him on the other end when they turned it over.
Well, I think when Beeston turned the ball over,
got a little frustrated.
Get the best of him, and again, a kid that size, he just tried to make a play on the ball. It sent the player flying.
1:35 left to play. Caden Berger, they work it around the perimeter. Berger at the top of the key now with it, working on Burden. Gives it over to Wilson. Wilson drives, kicks it back to Berger. Now they work it over in the left wing. That's Holman. Shane Holman. And a timeout called by Ryan Fretz. We'll keep it right here. 1:18 left to play in the ball game. Tiffin Columbian still holding on to a 53-50 lead. But Tommy, these possessions are scarce here as we get closer to the end of this one, and that time starts to dwindle down. You know, a 3-point lead for the Tornadoes. These Flyers don't want to waste too much time on this possession unless you're able to get a 3 here. I mean, you really want to try to get the 2-point, come up with a defensive stop, and then come down on the other end and get another 2. And if they want to do that, they're going to have to kind of get a little bit of urgency to their game on the offensive end.
Well, I've seen Tiffin Columbian take the ball at the top of the key, try to work it around the perimeter, and then feed it inside around the midline to LJ Reeves and have him make a move inside. I don't think that Clyde should shy away defensively from trying to guard that. Force Columbian to play the ball around the perimeter and make that move inside and send the guy over to try to get the rebound or get the steal to poke it away. As you're right, Nate. Finish this play as quickly as you can. Send the ball in transition, and then if you're the Flyers, try to get it back.
Because the last thing you want to do is foul and send one of these Tornadoes to the line. Because right now, both teams at 6 fouls. One more foul by either team would put the other at the line for a 1-and-1. Jaden Cook inbounds to Caden Berger. 1:15 left to play in the ball game. Cook on the left wing feeds it back to Berger, right wing. Berger under the basket for McMaster. Puts it up, no, off the glass, no. Rebound tipped out. Cook grabs it for the Flyers, feeds it cross court. Holman for 3, no. Beeston grabs the rebound for the Tornadoes.
Oh man, and that mental, I would say that's a mental lap. You should have just fed it. You should have just tried to finish the play if you're Cook.
Beeston off the glass and in. They tried to strip it away, but Beeston recovers the loose ball and puts it up and in for the Tornadoes. 5-point lead for Tiffin Columbian. Jaden Cook drives baseline, puts it up and in. What a shot by Jaden Cook. A one-handed floater along the baseline to bring the Flyers back to within 3, 55-52. 34.5 seconds left. Timeout on the floor. We'll keep it right here.
Yeah, Cook making up for that about 10 seconds earlier. You know, you got to call it that way, Nate. If you're driving to the basket like that, especially if you're a first-team conference player, 15 points per game, you have to have the ability to finish that play and not have to worry about trying to tie it up. Finish the play, and get the ball back, and finish this one out if you're the Flyers. But Tiffin Columbian, nice job of playing the ball, being there for Logan Beeston. And tonight especially, Whistling Stranger in Paradise making a move into the lane. I don't think the Clyde Flyers were suspecting that. He just bullied his way down the lane. Now Tiffin Columbian sits on this lead, 55-52, 34 seconds remaining.
I think the biggest problem for Clyde so far here tonight has been rebounding. They really haven't been able to get anything on the offensive rebound. And Tiffin Columbian's really been crashing the boards defensively.
Well, there's only two words you can think to yourself in a sectional final with the season on the line, 34.5 seconds left here. Those two words, winner stays.
Beeston inbounds, gets it into Burden. Burden double team.
Triple team. Still gets it.
It's stripped away and last touch by the Flyers.
I'm going to say that's got to be called on Cook.
29.3 seconds left. Tornado basketball coming off the inbound. LJ Reeves looking to get it in. Gives it to Logan Beeston.
This possession here, this is where you create your future.
Beeston feeds it to Myers. Myers is triple teamed and he is fouled. And that's going to put Jaden Myers at the line for a 1-on-1 situation. Abe Morrison called on the foul. And that's the team's 7th foul on the Clyde Flyers. Morrison's first. He'll come out of the lineup. Into the game now is Shane Holman for the Flyers. Jaden Myers toes the line for a 1-on-1 situation. 20.2 seconds left here in the ballgame. Myers with 8 points here tonight. No good on the free throw, but Burns grabbed the rebound, had it poked away. Scrum for the ball on the floor. Timeout called by Columbian. Possession for the Tornadoes. A huge timeout called by Travis Kinn.
Berger does not like that call. He says he came away
Berger
with it
is
before.
Very upset, saying that he came away with the basketball.
Before that timeout was called, and
it's a full timeout with 16 seconds left to play here in the ball game. 55-52, Tiffin Columbian leading by 3, and they will have the possession coming out of this timeout.
Once again, this great, tremendous sectional final brought to you by our friends at Century 21, the Bolte Real Estate, Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio, Financial Design Insurance Agency, First Bank of Tiffin, Integrated Orthopedics, Keebler Shoes, Northwest Ohio Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Reineke Tiffin Ford, St. Francis Senior Ministries, Tiffin Deluxe Services, Tiffin University, and Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, bringing you the exciting conclusion of this Division II sectional final live from Tiffin Columbian High School.
Nate Mullins sitting courtside here with Tommy Hall. Greg Kinn manning the cameras on our WTTF Sports live feed. 16 seconds left to play. 55-52, Tiffin Columbian leading by 3. They'll have possession coming out of the timeout. Logan Beeston will look to inbound. Flyers looking to pressure the inbound. Beeston trying to get it in. And we got a foul off the ball. It's going to go against Andrew Cauble. That'll put Jaden Myers at the line. He's got 8 points tonight. Jaden Myers.
With a one possession lead, Jaden Myers toes the line.
Unable to convert. Burns grabs the rebound again. Bryce Burns. We're going to say held ball. Burns clearly had the rebound, but Clyde able to get a couple of hands on there and grab it. And the possession arrow favors the Flyers, so they'll get it back. 13 seconds left. 55-52. Tiffin Columbian leading by 3. Caden Berger into the forecourt. Kicks it over. Right wing 3. Cauble. No. Rebound grabbed by Burns. Down the floor. 3 seconds left. 2, 1. And that's a foul. As Berger is going to get called on the foul. They had a shot. Andrew Cauble, a 50% three-point shooter on the year, had a wide open shot on the right perimeter and was not able to get it to go. And that's the game, folks. That's the story of this one.
Yeah, the hero ball.
That should have been in, and that was all she wrote to tie it up at 55, but
Tiffin Columbian now.
Bryce Burns knocks that one down to stretch it out to a 4-point game.
The final nail here in this Division II sectional final, and Tiffin Columbian
Burns misses
will
it.
be back-to-back.
And that is a sectional championship for your Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes.
Oh, they're going to cut the nets here tonight, Nate, as Tiffin Columbian once again back-to-back sectional champions.
Man.
56-52, what a game.
What a game. 56-52 is your final score. Tiffin Columbian moving on to the districts. And the Clyde Flyers season ends here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. We'll step aside, take a timeout. We'll come back and we'll wrap things up. From Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium, your final score. Tiffin Columbian 56, Clyde 52. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to high school basketball on WTTF. Yeah, they're going to play the winner of Sandusky and Perkins. Matchup between the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes and the Clyde Flyers. Tornadoes coming away with the win and cutting down the nets here at Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. 56-52 is your final score. Tornadoes moving on to the districts as they dispatch the Flyers here at Tiffin High School. Tommy, what a game. I mean, Tiffin Columbian started out at the end of the first leading 20-9. And then at halftime, in that second quarter, Clyde did a great job defensively of clamping down, limiting the opportunities for Tiffin Columbian, and limiting them to just 4 points there in the second quarter as they trimmed that deficit down to just one. 24-23 was the score at halftime. And then at the end of the third, you saw a score of 41-39 as Tiffin Columbian stretched the lead out a little bit, but Clyde just stayed in it and stayed with it. And, man, I tell you, Tommy, 56-52 final score, but that 4-point deficit, it's just a little bit bigger than what this game really was. I mean, this was a tight ball game throughout the entirety of this one. Just a great ball game.
Couple lead changes to this one. Nobody ever really got out ahead to a point to where, you know, this one could have went either way and down to the wire, just as it should be here in a sectional final. But Tiffin Columbian able to dispatch Clyde for the third time this season, which, I mean, that's in of itself a great feat against a great squad like the Clyde Flyers, Coach Fretz. I mean, that's a program that's always going to be tough. And for Tiffin Columbian to continue to work when just a few seasons ago we joined this squad, they didn't even string together 4 wins in that season. Yeah. In 2 seasons, I believe it was. And then to get to the point now, back-to-back sectional champions with the districts in the future, looking towards that, just building on and continuing to grow as a program and take those next steps that Travis Ken knew from the onset when he took on this program 6 years ago that was going to be his end game and end goal.
Yeah, and he's done a great job with this program since coming over here. And they've seen the results of the hard work that they've put in the, what is it, his 5th year now as the head coach here at Tiffin Columbian?
5th or 6th year, one of the two.
I mean, he's put in a lot of work here, and this is the results of hard work right here. Success is what you see here at Tiffin Columbian. And it's got to feel good for a guy like LJ Reeves, who just went up there and cut down a piece of the net to take a piece home with him. After the way his career started here at Tiffin Columbian, being, the lone freshman starter, and then his sophomore season, I believe they only won 2 games. But then last year as a junior, really turning things around. And, I mean, they really surprised a lot of people last year, Tommy. But this year, they were on everybody's radar coming into this year.
Yeah, again, we're on the call. We watched Tiffin Columbian string together a great postseason last year, falling to Toledo Rogers. But again, back to the dance, trying to make it a couple steps further to put another feather in the cap of Tiffin Columbian basketball squad. They just keep on building. They just keep on adding to history, as 19 wins now in the season. I believe that's the second highest amount of wins that this program has had in a single season. Of course, we know that 20th win eluded them against
the season ago.
So again, Tiffin Columbian, I mean, this is an exciting program to watch. And as you talked about, LJ Reeves, the lone senior on that squad, he going to be sorely missed. But, I mean, you got a wealth of talent still on the squad as well.
Yeah, absolutely right.
But that's neither here nor there, as the future is still bright, as Tiffin Columbian alive here in this tournament. Nate, can you give me an update on that nice bracket that Columbian's athletic director printed off for us?
Well, if you see here, I mean, the 2-seed Tiffin Columbian moves on now, and they will face the winner of the 3-seed Sandusky versus the 5-seed Sandusky Perkins. I believe that's 5-seed, right? No, 8-seed. I'm sorry, the 8-seed Sandusky Perkins. So we're going to be facing a Sandusky team. We just don't know which one yet. And that will take place on March 3rd. That'll be next Wednesday, I believe. Yep, next Wednesday. We'll cover that game right here on WTTF.
And I tell
you,
it'll
be a 5:30 tip-off. And we're not sure of the site yet, but I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be either Bellevue or Fremont, something like that. Maybe even Fostoria. But
I like this district that Tiffin Columbian's in their bracket. Again, you look through the entire seating and the way it's set up. Tiffin Columbian, they take it one game at a time, but you got to look forward to that potential matchup that could be between Toledo Rogers and Tiffin Columbian in the final. But again, Toledo Rogers, they still got to get past Rossford.
Yeah, Rossford, the number 1 seed. That game taking place tonight at Rossford.
So you're going to have to.
So we'll have to keep you updated on that tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow as we're coming to you live from Willard High School.
I forgot here, postseason tournament basketball. We don't get to sleep. We're bringing you all the great basketball action almost each and every night here on WTTF.
And we are staying alive as we bring you that matchup between the Seneca East Tigers and the Buckeye Central Lady Bucks. That one coming to you from Willard High School. That is the district championship matchup for Division 4. And once again, that is a 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock tip-off right here on WTTF, AM 1600 and FM 93.3. Well, Tommy, any final thoughts before we wrap things up here?
Just another tremendous outing by this Tiffin Columbian squad that we love to cover. We love to see the strides they've made as a program. And, I mean, let's just enjoy this. Ride the wave, man. Just ride the wave.
That's right, absolutely. After the season that everybody had last year and leading up to this, I mean, those are great words, Tommy. Just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the wave right now. And Tiffin Columbian will enjoy this wave as they carry it into the next round, into the districts, and they await the winner of the Sandusky versus Sandusky Perkins matchup. And for Tommy Hall, I'm Nate Mullen signing off from Tiffin Columbian Gymnasium. I want to thank our board op back at the WTTF studios, Anna Ocredo, for keeping us on the air. And once again, thanks to Greg Kinn, our camera operator, for running the cameras for our live stream on our WTTF sports page. And thanks once again to our sponsors, Century 21 Bolte Real Estate, Eye Centers of Northwest Ohio, Financial Design Insurance Agency, First Bank of Tiffin, Integrated Orthopedics, Kibler's Shoes, Northwest Ohio Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Reineke Tiffin Ford, St. Francis Senior Ministries, Tiffin Deluxe Services, Tiffin University, and your Legacy Federal Credit Union. Final score, Tiffin Columbian 56, Clyde 52. For Tommy Hall, I'm Nate Mullen signing off. You've been listening to high school basketball right here on WTTF, AM 1600, FM 93.3. We've been streaming online at WTTF.com and on our free mobile app, a proud partner of the BAS Sports Radio Network. Have a good night, everybody.